Oh, very good girl.
Okay, now folks, you might not be able to see that Ingrid, the service dog, is going to be hanging out here for a little bit because this is an important story that Go Local reported today that happened a couple days ago to Aria that we wanted just to talk with folks about sort of what took place. Student at URI,
Yes.
you're with your mom
Yes.
and your dog, who you've only had Ingrid, your guide dog, for a week.
A week, yes.
And the car broke down, you called AAA. And did you expect, now if you've read the story today, I'm going to have Aria walk through what had happened, trying to get picked up and bring the car to service. Did you expect this to happen?
Well, I certainly did not expect this to happen from AAA. In our guide dog training, Ingrid is from Guide Dogs for the Blind, which is out of San Rafael, California, and Boring, Oregon. So they're definitely a West Coast institution and phenomenal. In our training, they cover how to respond if someone may not understand service dog laws.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been expectant that maybe that would happen and have been prepared if that would ever happen. I didn't expect it to happen in this instance, though.
Very soon, you were again with your mom, and as you said, you put the post on Facebook. Just want to let folks to know what happened.
Right.
The car broke down, but as you said, you were in a safe area. You were with your mom. You felt safe, but yet you needed that car to be picked up and brought somewhere. And they told you initially that you could not bring the dog with you.
Yes, we had a new worker over the phone, and she initially said, well, you have a service animal, hold on one moment, let me check with my supervisors. To make a long story short, she was excellent and very professional, and the blame does not rest on her. However, she and her 4 supervisors, who we spoke with, my mom, myself, Ingrid, and a representative from Guide Dogs for the Blind over the phone, and they gave us varying excuses why Ingrid could not be in the vehicle. They suggested that she ride in the towed vehicle, which is highly unsafe for her and also very unsafe for me. I need her services to safely navigate, the same way someone might need a wheelchair or crutches to navigate. And they gave us so many different excuses. And to make a long story short, eventually they relented after 90 minutes. I don't think it should take anyone 90 minutes to follow federal law.
And that's why we have you in today. You're such an advocate. And, I've met you years ago. I follow you on Facebook. Student at URI, testified before the United Nations. But is this just a wake-up call that folks, or AAA, or people should be aware of what federal law is for folks with guide dogs?
Right. And AAA has it in, they have made an apology directly to my family. They called us. Very respectful employee. And it's so important. AAA has this in their manual, in their manifest. They have these laws. They're aware of them. It's just not implemented in their training. Mm-hmm. And that is so important. And I hope that I can use this experience to be so positive with them that I was instructed by the guide dog organization to call the police, and I did not. I want to use this as an opportunity to advocate, to be here. I never expected this to happen. I thought it would be a Facebook post. Maybe some people would call AAA and inform them on some of these laws. It's Title III of the ADA, for those of you who might want to look it up and read it. It is also on the Facebook post if you guys share it. So hopefully those laws will get around. Service animals, I think, can be sometimes misunderstood. Sometimes people don't know how to approach them. And they are so friendly and so accessible, but in many instances, they can be misinterpreted as pets or as therapy dogs, and they are very different entities. So just education and treating AAA with the respect they deserve, and hopefully that they will come forward and will implement new education for their staff, supervisors, and for their on-call staff, roadside assistants. Make this really positive for them.
That that someone else wouldn't have to go through the same situation that you went through. And as we had posted your post, again, very respectful, urging folks to reach out. And AAA responded. When you heard from them, what did you think about their response when they said, they called it human error?
Well, they had called my family. My mom got the call. She's the member, after all. And she was so impressed with how professional the woman was over the phone. She did make a formal apology to us. I was a little disappointed that the VP who made the direct response that you can see on Go Local Providence's post did not apologize to me. He did not reach out directly to me. I actually only saw his response through you guys.
Yeah.
I think human error is one thing, and yes, to a certain degree this was human error, but it is human error for the 4 individuals we spoke to and for your entire organization. And I would hope that he would take some blame for that as well, since this is an issue of education. Use this as an experience.
Yes.
Use this as an experience. Share this with your employees. Share Title III with your employees. And hopefully guide them in approaching a service animal in an appropriate way, whether it's at work at AAA or out in the community.
And you were talking about working with guide dogs for the blind. As
Yes.
Ingrid is sitting here, I know you guys can't see on the camera right now.
She's
just,
very adorable.
Just the most adorable. I'm biased. I have a lab, and that dog is very cute. But what did they tell you to expect in terms of giving you that education to say there might not be people who, and we're talking about a large organization, which, as you repeatedly pointed out, should know and should be training. But what did they warn you? What did they say if people said you can't bring your dog in here?
Well, legally, service dogs can go anywhere their handler, that's me in this instance, can go. Any type of public place, any type of institution, public transport, you name it, it's all outlined in Title III. Guide dogs walks us all through the laws. They are, one of the reasons I chose them is that they're actually part of the International Guide Dog Federation, so Ingrid has a lot of clout as a professional as well. And
is she in a union?
Yes, she has her papers. But she's a phenomenal dog, and they're a phenomenal organization who really makes sure that every person who leaves their facilities with a guide dog is prepared for the worst, but can always expect the best. So not to say that I wasn't prepared for it, I was, and I am. I hope that every time that might happen to me, like it did today, and I know it will happen again in the future, it's inevitable, just approach it with grace, with dignity, and moving beyond ignorance is so important.
Yes. And, we're talking on the one side of corporate, but can folks just get more information if they go to Guide Dogs, for the blind? Mm-hmm. Can they find more information? I'm sure you get approached by folks who are like, can I pet the dog?
Yes.
Can I say something? What can I do?
So you can certainly reach out to me, and I hope that if there's a way you can make my contact available, I would love to speak with any of you who might want to know more about Ingrid, myself, or guide dogs in general. GuideDogs.com is GDB, Guide Dogs for the Blind's website, so you're certainly welcome to reach out to them as well. They're extremely accessible. There are different types of material on their website, all about meeting a service animal, and even appropriate treatment for someone who has a visual impairment or might be legally blind or completely blind. So that sometimes that etiquette might, for someone like me or you, may go unsaid because we're more familiar with the population, but if you've never met someone with a service animal, it might be a little bit more challenging to navigate. So I hope that you all take the opportunity to learn something a little bit more about guide dogs and about service animals in general, not just AAA.
Yes, this is a big learning opportunity for everyone, and that's really how you presented it. Speaking of learning opportunities, you're going to go back down to URI, just finish your first year, triple major, double minor.
Yes.
Again, what are you looking to do? I don't want to say once you graduate, you're going to be equipped, over-equipped, but what are you looking to do after school?
I would like to delve into academic research. My passion right now is rhetoric, rhetorical theory, and communication studies, especially in terms of politics and in terms of human rights law, funnily enough. And maybe a little animal rights law will trickle into that now as well. But yes, I'm very devoted to academia, and hopefully we'll have a research career. That's my dream.
And how has your year been at URI? You must have had a lot of options, being just, again, a stellar student. Why'd you choose URI, and how's your first year been?
It has been a phenomenal, phenomenal year, and I cannot imagine myself at any other place. The faculty and staff have been phenomenal with me. As a student, as someone who is kind of an overachiever, in case you couldn't tell, a little bit. They have been so respectful. And now that I have Ingrid in my life as well, they have embraced this as a learning opportunity for the university. It goes so far beyond giving access to the service animal so far beyond when you see a service animal, don't touch it.
Yes.
They have embraced that as well. And I've only been with Ingrid for a week, but already they're prepared for this. As an institution, I chose them because out of all the campuses I visited, the facilities were phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I felt an immediate personal connection with the faculty I spoke with, which is so important to me, considering I want to venture into into academia for a career. I love that it's close to my family, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the resources that I have there. So many opportunities to shine, to go to the UN in the middle of the school year, to do some incredible work with my professors, and I could not imagine myself anywhere else. So shout out to you.
So I see you here, and I'm looking closely. The pin, what are you wearing? Is that a UN pin?
This is my UN pin, yes.
Youth delegate with the UN, again, advocating for folks and having this experience this week. How long did it take you to really coalesce your thoughts after what had happened? I mean, I again read the post, a couple hundred words, but it just so eloquently put out. How soon after the incident you were like, I just need to get this off my chest and tell folks what happened?
About 10 minutes later. Yeah, about 10 minutes later. It took me a little while to get the words the way I wanted them. That's so important to me, I think, too.
As a student of rhetoric.
Yeah, might be the communication studies trickling in a little bit. But it was so important to me to frame that in a positive light. I don't want this to be a negative experience, even though I was certainly shaken up at the time. Disregarding Ingrid and not offering her a service, a legal service under the U.S. Department of Justice, that's one thing. But you're also, in many ways, she's a part of me and a part of my life. So that definitely shook me up a little, and I think it shook my mom up.
After just 1 week with,
just 1 week with her. I'm used to advocating for myself, for my vision, and for other people through the UN or through the local community, but the guide dog is a whole new component for me, and I'm very glad that I can embrace it so quickly. Hopefully, I would have liked it to not be under quite this type of circumstance, but very glad to be here and glad to show the world what she can do.
Well, we are glad that you were here. Appreciate your coming up from URI to tell the story. Head back down. So do you have class tonight?
I don't have class tonight. However, if I can do some shameless self-promotion for any of you in the
Please.
South County area, I am also a yoga teacher, and this evening at 6 p.m. on the URI campus at the Anna Fascitelli Center, I am teaching a summer solstice yoga class. So if any of you want yoga and would like to see Ingrid in the flesh.
I appreciate that plug. I do know you do all the yoga,
Yes.
and so fantastic. And so does Ingrid just sort of hang out by the side?
Ingrid usually sleeps through yoga.
No, any downward dog?
She, in the morning, faithfully, downward facing dog, upward facing dog, and usually once we get to Shavasana, the relaxation portion of yoga, we'll start snoring, which is new for me.
A snoring guide dog. Again, Ingrid could not be cuter. And I appreciate your coming in today. As you said, we wanted to just get the story out there, just so folks know, businesses know, people know, what the rights are under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and especially with guide dogs, how to approach them. And again, we'll put your information up with people.
Please do.
Downward dog.
She's doing it. She must know.
She must know. Well, I appreciate both of your times coming in. We'll get you back down to URI.
Thank you.
So I appreciate your time today.
Thank
We'll talk
you
soon.
so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Have a great yoga class.
Oh,
We'll
thank you.
take a second here and go around the corner.
Right.
Okay, we're back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Just had a couple of guests so far on the 4 o'clock segment. Aria Mia Loberti came in today just now to talk about her experience, again, having a guide dog for the blind, having initially been refused some service from AAA after the car she was in broke down, wanted to make it a learning opportunity, an advocacy opportunity, after she finally was able to get the dog, get everyone safe and home. So I appreciate her coming in today to talk about that, and we'll have that segment